Hello, Monday Duck here. We'll go over a feature in TradingView that we didn't have before. We like to, or I like to, close partial along the way. Get into a trade with, say, 10 contracts. I'll use an example here. And then we would typically have to place a trade for 10 contracts with a stop loss for 10. And then at a take profit level, we would close out 7. And then we would close out, say, 2 or 1, and then close out the rest as it goes. So typically we're placing orders in the opposite direction and letting those get triggered. So TradingView has added that into their software. If you look to the right of the screen here, you can see that it's added in. I've moved my stop losses. The stop losses we would actually put all in the same area. So I've used 100 on each stop loss as far as 100 ticks for Bitcoin, and they would show all in one line. So your last order would say 1 contract. However, I've moved those 3 other stops down to the down underneath the main 7, and that's because I wanted you to be able to see that there are multiple stop losses there. So that's how it's treated in the platform. So we have 10 contracts on, and then we have our multiple take profit levels, okay, closing out 7 and then closing out 1 and 1 and 1. And that top one we could actually move out of the way because I don't like using a stop. I don't like limiting my successful trades by using a final take profit level on the last runner. I'd rather it just run and run and run if it does and follow it by the stop. So the one drawback to this, ideally you would like to put, 10 trades on or 10 contracts on and have 1 stop loss for 10. And then when it goes up and closes out 7, hitting the first take profit level, you'd like for the 7 to come out of the 10 stop. So what happens is you'd like to be able to move the stop loss, just 1 stop loss to move along the way. In this case, you cannot. So once you get to the first 7 close and you want to move to a break-even level, then on the last remaining trades, because they're showing up in the system as separate trades, you have to move all 3 stops. There's no way to move all of them. So I don't know if that's going to be changed in the future. It has been suggested that, this was a suggestion. Everything starts out, trying to let them know, hey, this is what we as traders would like to see. So that's what I would like to see. And again, I don't know if that's something that'll be in the works in the future. I don't know why it's hard for them to get that implemented. It should not be. However, I know they have a lot of things going on with different brokers. So sometimes it's broker specific. So if it doesn't work for your broker, that would be why. It's broker specific. They tailor things to the broker, not to the trader. They'll take all the traders' ideas that you want and they'll implement them. However, the final decisions are made and it is broker based. Just keep that in mind. So, but I just kind of wanted to go over this real quick and show, how to set that up, how it works. This is what it looks like on your order. And you can see that we have several add-ons in here. Okay, several levels or layers to the trade. Okay, so let's go over to charting. All right, so here in charting you can see that we might have something not locked, and I want to make sure it doesn't fall off the screen here. There we go. All right, so you'll see here in the charting, this is the image you saw earlier. We've had several candles tick by since I placed the trade, and here is the trade window open. Notice that it says 100% right here. Okay, it says protected size 100%. That lets you know that for the entire order that you have on, okay, all 10 contracts that we're placing, we're pulling off all 10. If I delete this one down here at the bottom, see how it says we're 90% protected. And we don't want that. We need that stop loss at least, okay? So by taking that off, it's almost as if I removed this trade up here, that 1 contract, okay? And now you'll see the stop's gone and the take profit's gone. So that's why I've set the take profit of the last contract way up there, because I don't want to limit how far it moves if it's going to keep going. But in order to have a stop down here for that last contract, you have to place it with the take profit. So that is a 100% drawback to me that I see. I would love to have the stop loss down here for the last contract, because as you notice, I put 10 on. We have 7, 8, 9 coming off. Okay? We need that 10th stop to protect the whole order. We don't trade without stop losses. Okay? Because we don't want to walk away from the computer and it pull all the way down and put us in the negative or blow your account. Okay? So we need that stop. Well, the only way to do it through this system, and I've tried doing the add-on level and adding that one back, that just the stop with no take profit, and it won't allow you to do it. So with these levels, you have to put on the take profit. So I would just kick the take profit out of the way. Now, I'm just going to show you the way I set this up for testing. So I just basically set up on Bitcoin using 100 ticks. Okay. When I set this up, it was over here. Basically, it was breaking through here. And I thought, well, I'd like my stop to be down there. So it's not stop based. If you want it stop or low based off a low or high, you're going to have to come in and measure. Okay. You're going to have to get your measuring tool, find out where price is, come in and measure where is that stop? Where do you want it? Okay. And then go down and find out how many ticks that is. And then you could put the ticks in there when you set it up. Okay. So these are presets, or you want to save them as a preset. You don't want to have to set this up every single time you place a trade. So if you don't know about presets, they're in the system. Right now I have it set up on the Bitcoin preset. I can come in and reset my orders. And now it's back on to where if I buy right now, it is going to place, let me close this out. You'll see that it comes in and just places the usual trade. Now, in a sim account, you can always come in and drag your stop. And then I would come in, if I was trading on this sim account, I would actually come in and put, I would change this to like a 7. Okay, and then I would come in here and right click and come into a sell limit. And what that's going to do is that is going to close out partial. It's going to close out 7 contracts. So the thing with doing this though is picture if it goes up and closes out 7. Okay. So right now, if the price goes up and closes out 7 contracts, it'll still say 10 down here. Notice they're not linked together. If you hover over the stop, notice there's a bar to the right here that comes up vertically. That shows you what is linked together, which orders are linked. Well, this one's not linked. And that's because, again, I'm closing out part of the trade. Okay? I'm trying to get my TVs back, my monitors. Just bear with me. They just glitched out on me. I'm having issues with one. So I'm waiting on it to come back. Okay. So that's how we've been doing it, And then the problem is, though, if price comes up here, so price comes up and hits that take profit level, closes out 7, my stop order still says 10. So you'll have to right click on it and modify that order to change it to 3. Because once it closes out 7, we'd have 3 contracts on. So we would have to modify the stop. Okay. So with the presets, we come in, we click this little arrow next to the orders, and then we click on Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin preset is set. I'm going to change this back to 10. Okay. So we have Bitcoin loaded with the presets. Now, if I click buy, it will buy and place on my orders just that quick. Everything's placed at the same time. And notice that all orders are linked. If I hover over the stop or any one of these orders, you'll see that they are linked together. So again, we have orders linked. Notice that it says 1 right here, 1 contract, but we have 10 on. That's because, again, it places those stops at the same level. That's how I've set it up. Okay. Here's what it looks like on the side. If I come in here and click on the trade window and click on Bitcoin, you'll see I have one set for gold as well. It will load up that template. Okay. Now, here's how you're going to do it when you, let me see if I can get rid of that. Let me see if I open it back up, if it'll allow me to. There, I want to get rid of this, though. It won't let me do that. Let me close this. There we go. So in order to set it up, what you're going to do is you place 10 contracts on. You can use however many you want. Okay. Here's my exits. That's what these are called, exits. We're not going to use a take profit overall, but we are going to use a stop. I'm going to use 100 ticks in here. Now what you're going to do now, so that is 100 ticks for all 10 contracts. If I hit add a level, it says, do you want to close out all? We don't. We want to close out 7 contracts. We want the bottom to stay at 100. Make sure your stop's the same. And then we want the 7 to close out on 100. We're going for 1 to 1, or you can go to 1 to 1.5, whatever you want to do. I'm just showing you the way I set this up just for testing. That's one level. We're going to close 7. Level 2, we're going to close out 1 more contract. We'll close it out at 150. Make sure that last says 100. We close out 1 more. We don't want to close out the last 2. We're going to close them out at 200. Make sure this says 100. And then we add 1 more level of 1 contract left. I'm just going to throw it at 300 to get it up there. Make sure the bottom says 100 as well. And then what you're going to do is confirm. We're confirming our setup. Notice at the top again it says 100% protected. That means for every contract we have that we're buying, we have all the contracts set up with stop losses for take profit and closures. It says 100% setup. Great. Confirm. Now, before we hit buy, come up here and click on this little icon here and hit save order preset. Okay. Now mine's saved as Bitcoin. So you're just going to label it Bitcoin. You would need to do 1 for each instrument that you trade because they're going to be different. Okay. Tick size on gold, I'm using 50. So we're going to label this Bitcoin, and then you would just hit save. Now mine's going to ask me to confirm that I want to save, and I'm going to hit no because I already have it set up. But you would not have a confirm. I have a confirm because I came down and selected Bitcoin, okay, and I already have it. So you would just hit save, and then you have one saved for Bitcoin. Once it's saved, you don't need the order window open anymore, okay? You can just come up here and load. If I switch to gold, I'm going to switch to the gold setup. But we're on Bitcoin, so I switch to Bitcoin, hit buy. It's going to set up the orders. Here's sell. It does it automatically. So don't think you have to set up a buy and a sell for each instrument. You set up one. You just set up a, you have a setup here, okay, a profile loaded for trading for each instrument you trade. Again, just have each loaded. I switched the chart over to gold. I'm going to come down and select gold. Right now I have gold loaded. Let me close this and show you what it does. I'm going to close, let's say I want to buy, and I have gold loaded. So I've came down, set my preset up to gold. It will not allow me to do it. Okay, it says the order preset's not applicable. Okay. So what we have to do, we're not going to reset order preset. Okay. We're just going to come up here and hit Bitcoin. And then we can go through with the buy or sell. So again, either way, you want to sell, it's there. It's already set up. You want to buy, it's there. It's already set up. So you only have to set it up once per instrument and then go from there. Again, I don't like limiting my profit, so that last one, I put it 300 just so I can see it, the order. But as things climb, so as things move around and it comes through, hitting and taking out these trades, these orders, before it gets to that upper one, I'm just going to keep moving it. And I'll have to keep moving my take profit, and I would have to keep moving the stop for this last contract again, and let it pull back and let the stop take you out or close at the end of the day. So that's all for today. I just kind of wanted to go over the presets, how you could set this one up, so where it does give you multiple take profit areas. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later.